All right, everybody, we are live from Beercade. Welcome to the AEW pre-show. I'm Mike the Ref Malloy, and can you believe this? I actually told Big Bad Boris that he had to put over the Oilers goaltending.
Why?
So he just said, no, I ain't coming.
Nobody puts over the Oilers goaltending.
Unfortunately, last-second commitment came up.
I am the Stuart Skinner.
He's the Stuart Skinner. He's
I've
the
been recalled.
call-up. Chris Parrish, current RCW Tag Team Champion, I think. You still win last night?
We lost by DQ.
Oh, okay. So you're still okay there.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I hear myself talking to myself here. So, welcome. Beercade is showing the buy-in and the full show here coming up in just under half an hour. We're here to give you the skinny, the predictions, the thoughts, and my God, this pay-per-view is lining up to be one of the best. Like, the last time we were here was for All Out last September.
Yeah.
And my God, that was what many people considered the best card ever in wrestling. And this one might actually top that.
You mean we're in an age now where everyone's going to tout something as the greatest thing ever? That might be the greatest thing I've ever heard.
But the difference is people actually back it up here. But anyway, let's get into these matches. We got 12 matches. We got half an hour. Let's coming off right off the buy-in. This just got announced on Friday. We got the House of Black taking on Penta, Obscuro, Pac, and a returning Eric Redbeard. Like, Eric Redbeard shows up out of nowhere. And
well, doesn't everyone?
that's what we're getting at here with AEW. Like, your thoughts on this match coming up here? Like, this is insanity.
Well, I mean, it's nice just to see Buddy Matthews.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back, and I think that's the big one. Like, we're now getting so used to Buddy Matthews coming in. Now we got Eric Redbeard. So it's like, okay, who's really the new shiny toy out of this match? But the nice thing is you have both. And
yeah.
I think that's a nice thing. And I think this is a match where you're getting to see, like, the undercard really prevail. And I've always been somebody like, what are they doing with Pac? And I'm always curious to see what they're doing with Malachi Black. So it's very curious to see not only what this is, but, like, they're going to go all out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's going to be a great match. And I'm very curious to see just how Buddy Matthews is, because I've always been a Buddy Matthews guy. So he's the guy that I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, like, the biggest thing is we got the House of Black making their pay-per-view debut, and it's just to me it's going to be one of those matches that's going to show off everybody here and put them to a brand new level. I do believe House of Black's going to win this just because they have to at this point. But
well, even with Tony Khan saying that when Kenny Omega comes back, the plan is to have trios titles. I like the emphasis of a trio, like of the six-man. So it's a nice little foreshadow of what you could get later in AEW is more six-man matches.
Because once Phoenix gets back, thank you, rest in peace your arm from the last time here. But once he comes back from injury, you're going to have those two teams vying for the trios titles. It has to be pretty much nonstop here.
Yeah, and it's going to. Yeah, you just said that.
Yeah. Let's move on to our next match here, and I got a feeling this might be the guaranteed squash. Oh my God, I can't believe they can't even find a picture him in his actual ring gear, QT Marshall, as he takes on Hook. I don't really think there's much to say about this one here.
What takes longer, QT Marshall getting to the ring or Hook matches?
I'd say QT Marshall getting to the ring here because he's probably going to have about 4 or 5 people interfering here in it. So,
I mean, I think there's no undeniable thing to say about Hook and how much potential he has. And I think it's going to be nice just to watch him grow up. And I think comparisons can be made about Kurt Angle and just how close they seem to just put it together right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, before we tout him as a Kurt Angle, let's watch him grow, because this is the best part about professional wrestling, is watching these guys become their own and become amazing. So I'm just happy to see Hook, and I really hope we're not seeing any no sells here, because
I don't think there's going to be much to no-sell here. It's going to be a quick choke tap-out victory. Thank you very much for coming out.
Well, and that's the thing. It's definitely it's going to be a statement match for Hook.
Well, so we got three matches in an hour to get through, and plus all the previews. So I got a feeling this is going to be one of those walk into the ring, 13-second tap out the door as fast as you can. But
we've already talked
way.
more about this match than the match will be most likely. So
exactly. So let's get on to our last match of the pre-show here, and one I'm really looking forward to. Legit Layla Hirsch taking on Chris Statlander. Now this feud has been developing through Dark, and it's one of those feuds that everybody wants to see, and it's starting to mold together exactly the way we want to see it.
Yeah, and it's really nice kind of just seeing two people come together and actually have like a really good feud, and it's not necessarily for a championship, but it's really helping strengthen that women's division that just needs more people to break through. And so like having matches like these that people care about and actually watching, because since she came back from injury, there's no denying that Chris Statlander has been probably the best she's ever performed. And then if you're watching, the NWA, Layla Hirsch is a force to be reckoned with. So this match is going to be a very, very, I want to say aggressive match, but I think it's just going to be a good pace match. So I'm very curious to see this match, and I really hope they just help put more eyes on the women in AEW, because that's the one division that needs it.
I think this is where you develop somebody like Layla Hirsch and give her a big win on a big pay-per-view right now.
Yeah.
Statlander has the best friends to back her up right now, and she does have those skills that she seems to be one of those, like, sort of like the Acclaimed, where she's like a middle gatekeeper right now in a position. Pretty safe for me. And the fact that if you give Layla Hirsch this win here, it does nothing but get her into that main title area, whether it's going to be against Thunder Rosa or Britt Baker, but it does give her an idea to get her in that position there. But
well, that's just the thing. There's comfort with Chris Statlander, where now it's just like, okay, Layla Hirsch is kind of like newer on the scene, so it's like we don't want to wreck momentum with her. So I think she's a safe bet here to go over with Statlander. She can then later have more things based on the association that she has with her best friends.
Absolutely. And don't forget, folks, you get to watch all these matches here down at Beercade. They got $4 highballs, $4 shots of Jameson, I do believe, tonight, as well as a great drink menu. And, man, since they did these renovations here it'd be about 5 months ago, they finished them just before the last time we were here, about 6 months ago. And, my God, this place looks beautiful in here, to be perfectly honest. So, definitely get down here. Come say hi to us, and we'll play some video games. I know there's some Mario Kart racing there. Maybe we'll have to take you on here. Maybe if we get a down match here, but I don't think there's going to be a down match on this card. But let's get right into it right now, because time is of the essence, it looks like. We got the Face of the Revolution ladder match, and this is big boy slapping meat right off the bat here. I feel sorry for Ricky Starks and Christian Cage, because you got Wardlow, you got Powerhouse Hobbs, you got Keith Lee, and yeah, it's just going to be an absolute nightmare for those guys. I like to see how this dichotomy of big man, small man work out here.
Well, yeah, but then you also have a grizzled vet in Christian Cage, and like this is the one where you have one of the kings of the ladder matches.
Yeah,
and this is going to be a very interesting dynamic. I'm curious to see who they decide to go on, because I think we can all say Keith Lee right away, because it's Keith Lee.
I'm not.
I don't either. I think a small guy. I think a Ricky Starks is actually going to win this.
My personal opinion, we're looking at right now, based on the storylines that are going on in AEW. To me, it's got to be Wardlow that wins this. But don't count Orange Cassidy. This is actually a position where he might actually try for once, and he's self-admitted it. He hates trying. So. He can get over that way, and there is a possibility that Orange Cassidy could win this matchup. I don't think it's likely. Right now, it looks like Keith Lee's setting up for a feud with Wardlow and Ricky Starks. So that's to me, those wipe each other out here. I'm thinking Wardlow and this ongoing talk that MJF has about the TNT Championship with Wardlow. I think Wardlow's actually going to be the next TNT champion.
Yep, very well. It possibly could go that way. I'm just curious to see kind of the performance of these guys, because you always got to look at a match like this as an opportunity to break through. So Wardlow who's typically been used as like the power bomb all the time guy. And like now he has a really chance to show people just how dominant he can be. And Keith Lee is a perfect guy to have that in the ring with. So I really think this is Wardlow's really like statement, like, okay, I'm here, I'm making some noise now.
Absolutely. And let's move on. Speaking of the TNT Championship, we have the TNT champion Sammy Guevara involved in a 6-man tag with Sting and Darby Allin taking on the AHFO, Andrade El Idolo, Isaiah Cassidy, and Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Now, to me here, this is just the storyline of how they're going to excommunicate Matt Hardy out of the AHFO just for the fact that he keeps creating these losses here. We have the dichotomy that showed up on Wednesday with Darby and Sammy not getting along following that title match. But at the same time, I think that the quote-unquote return of Jeff Hardy coming up on Friday, probably because he's stuck till the 6th, or sorry,
well, he hasn't outright said he's coming, has he?
Well, there's been so many dang reports, when there's smoke, there's about 60 pounds of fire here somewhere. So, my prediction is that you're going to get the faces as the winners in this matchup here.
Yeah, it's hard to think that you're not going to let a singles champion in Sammy Guevara not get a win, because I think that propels him. I think there's going to be a lot of emphasis on that TNT title with the ladder match and then this match. So maybe we even see the winner of that ladder match and Sammy Guevara have some sort of connection at some point. I don't know. Maybe I've watched too much WWE to overthink this.
My personal opinion also, you get the fact that Sting gets a pin over Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
That's probably something that Matt Hardy's been looking for years. So, well, let's move on to our next matchup here. And apparently this match is all about respect.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho, Eddie Kingston. Jericho, let's give him mad props.
Because he's in shape.
He's in shape for this. Yeah. Absolutely. Like, I need to be in that kind of shape, but I need to be part of the solution. So, anyway, Eddie Kingston.
So you're getting another beer is what you're saying.
Well, don't worry. Once they open up, I gotta earn this fee here tonight. But yeah, Eddie Kingston here has talked his way in without having to say many words.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho has been mocking him for the fact that he doesn't believe in saying the right words.
Yeah.
And right now, Proud and Powerful, the guy's stuck right in the middle of this. So who do you think's going to win this?
I mean, and this very much looks like Eddie Kingston is going to come out of this one on top. And I do think an alliance is going to bond out of this. I think it's safe to say that they're probably going away from the inner circle just with Sammy Guevara kind of being on his own. They're not really doing a lot together, but they can definitely maybe start going to a Santana Ortiz against Jericho and Eddie Kingston kind of a relationship, because I can definitely see Santana and Ortiz kind of get sick of both of these guys, to be honest. But just knowing Jericho in the past, the guy doesn't care about putting guys over. So, I mean, this just is a perfect story to see Eddie Kingston finally get that big win.
Yeah, and for me, it was one of these, this is the big win that Eddie Kingston needs to advance his career up. There is a possibility he could end up in ROH right after this pay-per-view. Yeah. Just for the fact that he might be one of the stalwarts going there. Jericho could end up on the road with Fozzy for the next 6 months after this match. I don't think it's likely, but at the same time, I think Eddie Kingston deserves his victory, and I feel that he's going to get that handshake, and there's going to be a little bit of respect here with all four people, and that's going to sort of galvanize Jericho with Santana and Ortiz here. So
yeah, and I think that's the underlying story too about this, is finally seeing if Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz truly are back on the same page. So there's so much substance to this one match. It's going to be very good to watch it play out.
And speaking of matches that are going to be deep in execution here and rivalries, we got Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley. Now, this is simply a case of Danielson proving himself to Moxley. Who would have thought that would have ever needed to be a thing here in AEW?
You know what? It's an interesting dynamic because it's not something that you think is necessary, but at the same time, it is when you look at the dynamics, and that is Moxley against Danielson. they haven't had that war between each other. So when Moxley says, hey, before I tag with you or before I go to war with you, I need to know that you're willing to go to war to begin with. So, I mean, it's one of those things. It's like fight for respect, fight for honor, which is very ironic given the Ring of Honor kind of dynamic that they played in. So I like it simply because they're not going to use one to kind of go down while the other one goes up. They're going to use this as a platform to go both up, and I do think an eventual tagging and a connection between these two is likely.
Well, let me throw my first curveball of the night at you, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bryan Danielson wins this match with the help of Claudio Castagnoli. I think that Danielson's goal here was to create a faction where he has young people being trained by some of the best. You bring Claudio in as a backup to Danielson, and I find that would be a lot more cohesive faction than a Moxley-Danielson one, to be perfectly honest with you.
Well, I would love to see like a team Ring of Honor, and that's why I'm going to also throw another one at you. I could very well see Samoa Joe being a part of this as well.
I think there's going to be some screwiness.
Or even the Briscoes that are rumored to be a part of this.
Yeah.
So,
there's going to be some kind of screwiness, which is eventually going to lead to something here. That there is no way that either one of these guys wants to lose clean to the other one right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's just Moxley. He hasn't taken an L in forever,
mm-hmm.
and Danielson can't afford to take another L right now because he's lost 3 in a row right now.
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, I think this is going to be Danielson's win, but I think he's going to get some help with it. So, but you know what? It's funny. We've been talking for almost 20 minutes now, and we're just getting to our first championship match.
Yeah. There are only a few, though.
Well, all of them, except for one, except for the TNT.
Yeah.
But for the TBS championship,
I only said a few because they're not WWE. They don't have 100.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway.
We could talk about the comparisons, but that's a whole different podcast altogether. For the TBS championship, we got Jade Cargill defending against Ty Conte. Mm-hmm. Now, if they weren't pushing the undefeated streak of Ty Conte as hard as they were right now, I would think that, or of Jade Cargill, sorry, Ty Conte to me would be the perfect person to take this TBS championship off of Jade.
Yeah.
However, with them pushing this undefeated streak so far, I can't see Jade losing here, whether it be straight or through nefarious means.
No, and I think it's going to be a pretty simple, dominant win, but I do think you're going to see a good fight out of Tay Conti. So, with that being said, I think a lot of comparisons between the Hook and Jake. I don't think this match is going to go very long. However, I do think you're going to see Tay Conti put up a good fight in a losing effort just so they can help make her look good in a loss.
Well, all I know for sure is the fact that Jade Cargill is going to have to deal with a lot of karate shit.
Yeah.
So, but let's move on to our next match. Sorry, the actual screen's a little far away on me here. The World Tag Team Championship match. The 3-way, I'm calling them Jurassic Express, even though they won't. Taking on the Young Bucks, taking on Red Dragon.
Yeah. This
match here, I got a feeling this is going to have a lot to do with what's going on in the main event. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you're just getting a feel, at least from me, that they're transitional champions here in terms of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. They don't have that pop the same way that all these other tag teams do. Regardless of that, I think the other two teams are going to cancel each other out. I think Red Dragon's going to cost the Young Bucks the victory, and the team of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus are going to get the victory here. Parrish, your thoughts?
See, I wouldn't be upset with that because it's a nice curveball that nobody sees coming, and that is a great thing to have. However, I can also see the dynamic of one of Red Dragon or Young Bucks getting the win off of the other team. And then the whole dynamic of, okay, is Adam Cole, whose side is he really on, and kind of thing. It's a dynamic thing. I think at the end of the night, we're going to eventually see Adam Cole choose Red Dragon, and I actually think we're going to see Young Bucks and Adam Page get back on the same page.
We'll get to that at the main event. I got the same feeling here, and based on the fact that Red Dragon screwed the Young Bucks, I think that's going to play into it as well here tonight. There's going to be the one thing that Tony Khan likes to do with his shows. He does know how to story tell very well.
Yep.
Well, let's move on to our next match here. And no titles, but a hell of a lot of pride and a hell of a lot of blood on the line.
Speaking of storytelling.
Yeah, storytelling. I got segues here, folks.
Yeah.
MJF, CM Punk, dog collar match. You know Punk really wanted this one just to put on the resume, let alone anything. MJF, this could be that career-defining match for him here right now, realistically.
And that's it. Like, he needs that big match to kind of show you why he's a heavyweight champion type of talent now. Not saying, like, people doubted that, but he needs that exclamation point. It's just like Randy Orton needing that hardcore match against Mick Foley to look like he's there. And same thing with Triple H at that Royal Rumble. Like, guys need to have those defining moments to just take you from one step to another. And this is going to be that match for Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And it's just a really nice story that they have. And I do think it's going to be coming in at the end tonight, though. And for that, I think that's why, like, a lot of people usually would say, well, that means Punk's going to win. I think it's the quite opposite. I think we're going to see a dominant win out of MJF. The only reason I would say MJ loses is Wardlow turns on him.
I don't think we're going to get that turn here, but I do think MJF's going to get the victory here just because this is the match that sets him up for a match against the heavyweight champion.
Yep.
And I got a feeling that MJF might be the next guy in line. It's the one thing about AEW is they do have quite a bit of self-explanatory storytelling here, and it seems like it's working out perfectly here at this point to set up for an MJF victory as far as I'm concerned here. Well, we got 2 more matches on the card, I do believe, so let's get to them right now. This one is a year in the making for the AEW Women's Championship. Thunder Rosa, Britt Baker. Now, my personal opinion, after that match on St. Patrick's Day last year, that barbaric lights-out match between those two, I think if Thunder Rosa was signed to AEW at that point, she was still currently signed to NWA at that point, but if she would have been signed to AEW at that point, I think she would have been rocketed the title. I think tonight's the night where they get her the title.
Yeah, and I think we can both agree that Britt Baker has taken this title to a completely different height that previous champions have had. However, she's not as hot as she was the day she won the title. But she's at a point now where she is now a star in that division where she doesn't necessarily need a title to be a main focal point. And I think that is the perfect time now to look at a Thunder Rosa where she is getting that following. She is getting that people behind her. Plus, I think it's important to have the dynamic of a good guy, in this case, good girl, having a championship in AEW. And if Jade Cargill is going to be that on the other side, Thunder Rosa makes a lot of sense to be that person. The people want to see it. This is the moment and opportunity you can to give it to them.
Absolutely. And personally, I think that Britt Baker's turning herself into sort of the pseudo-Undertaker of the AEW women's division here. She is the standard that everybody looks up to in terms of what kind of style you can have, what kind of level of
she's the measuring
charisma.
stick.
Yeah, she's the measuring stick right now. And regardless of that, I think that you don't want to oversell how long she has the title. And this is the point where we need to switch that title up and just it's going to elevate that title that much more.
Exactly.
Especially with somebody who puts as much effort as she does into the women's division in Thunder Rosa.
Yep.
So, and then we got our main event. Adam Page, Adam Cole. No, baby. Okay, that's fine.
I feel an Adam's going to win this match.
Yeah, well, I think that's what the Vegas odds are saying.
I was saving it.
All right, well, my personal opinion, I got a feeling that Adam Page is actually going to retain out of this one.
I do too.
And where I'm going with this is during the tag title match, Red Dragon are in there and cost the Young Bucks the championship. Well, now Red Dragon comes out. Cole tells him to stay in the back before the match because they want to do this one-on-one. Red Dragon comes out to help, and the Young Bucks attack Red Dragon, not to save Adam Page, but to get at Red Dragon. And the distraction on Cole causes Page to hit him with a buckshot, get the 1, 2, 3 in the victory. And it doesn't show that it puts Adam Cole in a position here where he isn't siding with either side right now. and it leaves a lot more questions than answers, and I do appreciate that coming out.
What I like is just the variety of avenues you can go with this. Because I have a feeling we might see the dysfunction between Red Dragon and the Bucks ultimately be what's costing Adam Cole. Not necessarily one specific team, but it's the fact that both teams can't decide. It's like they both want that last toy. There's Sinbad and Arnold, and they want that doll, right? And they want that Turbo Man doll. You didn't think I was going to bring up that, I bet. But at the end of the day, I think this is the perfect time to keep the title on Adam Page, because I do think not only eventual rematch with Kenny Omega makes a lot of sense, but I think he's the most natural babyface they've had since their inception, which means Maxwell Jacob Freeman is the most natural person to take that title off of.
Absolutely. And yeah, I think Page will still keep this, and I don't know whether the Maxwell Jacob Freeman fight will be on a Dynamite later on, or if they're going to try and push it all the way to All Out, because he's playing up the Chicago thing. But we could talk about that.
Well, I just wanted to mention one thing. We have 2 tag teams that could help Adam Cole, but we are not talking Dark Order that could help neutralize these tag teams. And I wouldn't be surprised if that comes into play here, because we don't talk about Dark Order enough, and this is a very key component to these other tag teams.
Absolutely. But you can hear the sound in the background.
Yep.
The buy-in's about to start here, so let's sign off here. Make sure you get your butts down to Beercade as we're starting to get the people lining up and coming in. It is going to be absolutely jam-packed here. Great food, great snacks, great
atmosphere.
Great atmosphere. All the TVs are working fine. We don't have to use my laptop this time, which is good.
That's a good thing.
So anyway, Parrish, where can they get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me at oh no, not that. Sorry, you can get a hold of me on Twitter at Chris Parrish, on the Instagram Chris.Parrish. Eventually, whenever I figure out Twitch at the Chris Parrish, I know. Thank you for your help.
I'll get them set up. Don't worry, guys.
Yeah.
You can take a look at me at Mike the Ref. Don't be afraid to shout a hello here and whatnot. I'll be on Twitch tomorrow night, twitch.tv/Mike the Ref. Thinking I might actually switch this up to be on the Twitch channel next time. We'll see what happens. You guys let us know where you want to see this, whether you want to see it on Twitch or whether you want to see it here on YouTube still. But it's been a slice, Parrish. Thank you for coming in last moment.
Thank you for having me.
And don't forget, we will be back here regardless for Double or Nothing, May 29th.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a show. But for Chris Parrish, this is Mike the Ref reminding everybody, be part of the solution, don't be part of the problem, and we'll see y'all here next time on the Backbreaker Video YouTube channel. Take care, everybody.